What up, fellas? It's your boys, Drew and Nick, from We Made a Video, coming together once again to make a new video, a podcast. For the new year, we both kind of decided that we wanted to upload more, and a podcast was an easy way to do that. So for the specific podcast, we're going to be listening through albums, either for the first time or retrospectively to see if they still hold up or if we still enjoy them as much as we once did. And we thought we'd do Eminem's discography first because, you know, we're both big Slim fans, being white and all. Just kind of comes with the territory. So
I was going to say we're white rappers, so it's necessary.
It really is, dude. So I'm Drew, dude, and this is Nick. Nick, say something so they know the voices.
Something, I'm the voice.
We both get mistaken for each other a lot, and I think it's because I don't use a face cam. But I will one day. Yeah, just keep in mind, it's our first time doing it. So if it sucks, you know, cut us some fucking slack, dude. We're going all the way to Music to Be Murdered by Part 2. So, I mean, we're bound to get a little better as time goes on.
It's called Side B. It's called Side B.
Side B, Part 2, same thing.
Trying to avoid those comments. Called Side B.
Being as we're doing Eminem first, bro, I thought we should start with Infinite. Just a little background. It was Eminem's first solo album. I'm sure a lot of people know that. But it flopped, dude, and it was panned. Everyone said he sounded like Nas and AZ, and he was trash, and he tried to kill himself. But, you know, thankfully, it led to the rise of Slim Shady. So we got that out of the deal. I mean, I think I speak for both of us, dude, when I say we're not really well-versed in this album out of any albums on his discog, bro.
This is without a doubt the least interesting he's ever been in his entire career.
Well, I wouldn't say least interesting. I'm just not fully aware. I mean, I've listened to Infinite maybe once or twice.
I mean, it's interesting because of its place, like, in his discography and, like, in his history.
Right.
But, like, as far as, like, his personality and his charisma, like, he relies, like, from what I remember of what I've heard of it, he relies a lot on, like, just, like, how his raps sound more than anything else.
Right. Well, I guess that leads me into the last part of the intro here. What, if any, are your thoughts, current emotions, current standings before listening to Infinite again?
You know, honestly, you know, not feeling very emotional about it at all. Just kind of going in with a blank slate, dude. Like I said, I don't have like super high opinions of this album from what I remember of it.
Right.
But at the same time, I know that it's nothing that's like actually bad.
Right.
It's just not up to par with what people are used to him putting out.
Right. From what I remember, I really enjoyed what I've heard from it. Just in the context of it being, you know, that super old style of lyrical miracle type rap. But yeah, from what I remember, no really peeks into the whole Slim Shady persona type shit that they do on the next album. But I guess with that out of the way, dude, are you ready to get in to Infinite?
My pen and paper cause a chain reaction.
So let's get the brain relaxing. Infinite.
Yeah.
By Eminem. By We Made a Podcast. The review. By We Made a Video. By Nick XL and Enhanced. By Drew and Nick.
By Aftermath.
Wow, we're back. Who would have thought? In just those few seconds, we listened to Infinite by Eminem, dude.
We sped run it. I almost said spad ran it, which is not. It's not the correct terminology. That's not words.
Either way, we did it. We listened to it. Before we get into any track by track type vibes, dude, any thoughts right off the bat?
I feel like I'll get into like kind of a summary at the end of the track by track, personally.
I feel that. I'll probably do the same. like we said in the beginning, neither one of us had any crazy expectations. But I'll say beforehand, I think it kind of met my expectations and surprised me in a few spots, and I'm sure we'll get to it. But I honestly was kind of surprised by some of the shit that I heard and
Right, bro.
how much I actually ended up enjoying it.
Right, I hear that.
But for the first track, Infinite, we both prior to listening to this is the one we were most really in tune with. We both knew. And,
yeah, I love the title track. I've heard the title track of this album like 100 times.
Yeah, I mean, this song is great. And honestly, I thought, like, re-listening to it now, in a weird way, it's still, like, it's not Eminem's current style, or even, like, the style that would happen the album later, or anything like that. But it still, like, sums him up in a way that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, he's still... I feel like in his older age now, he raps like this a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. And I definitely see what you mean, because he was kind of just... I won't say it's a bad thing, but like rhyming just a bunch of shit.
It's literally just barring you up that entire fucking song.
Right. The only other note was that I had was I did get some Slim Shady LP vibes from a few of the bars, like twisted necks of rappers till the spinal column disconnects.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Shit like that reminded me of Slim Shady, but I mean for the whole fucking album, that kind of stuff is kind of hidden away, dude, tucked in the back.
Right. Good track. Like you were saying, very hip hop head underground YouTube rapper type lyrics here and there.
Right.
But it I don't know. I think just because of like when it was made and where he was in his career, it's just a little more endearing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of wholesome.
Yeah,
he's just an innocent guy trying to rap.
there's a lot of wholesomeness to it, and there's also like at the same time, like I said earlier, that it's so old, but it's still just so like kind of fresh and still like damn, like that's Eminem. Like if I wouldn't be ashamed to show that song to anybody.
Right.
Moving on, dude. I didn't have any notes for the We Go skit. I honestly didn't realize it was a skit until I realized It's Okay started playing.
Yeah, I didn't either. But hey, I mean, it's sad hearing Proof, especially at such a young age.
Dude, it's sad, but I thought it was actually really cool to hear him and Mr. Porter like young.
I mean, yeah. It was a cool moment, especially like considering where we're at now.
Right, and I mean, all three of those guys like had the aspiration to make it, and it's cool to know that they all did in some like their own capacity after hearing that shit. Moving on to It's Okay, dude. Did you have any thoughts?
Bro, he sounds like Lil Michael on this song.
Lil Michael.
Sound like Lil Michael, bro. Lil Michael Jackson.
I don't know what it is. It's kind of like the wholesomeness that we were talking about, but I really like the happy and chill Eminem.
I hear that. I like what he's going for. I don't think I'm a very big fan of the beat and shit on this though.
Oh, I feel that. For me, the whole album, I really liked most of the beats.
Right, I feel you.
A lot of them, especially not to skip ahead, dude, but 313. That kind of had like a Sega Genesis sounding like it's very like 16-bit type shit.
Right, I hear that.
I like. I mean, now it'd be considered lo-fi, I guess. But
right,
it's really a cool sound. I also thought for It's Okay, his flow was really similar to like what would come next with Slim Shady LP and shit like that. Like the words aren't at all, but like his flow is still really top notch.
Right. Also, the lyrics, it's kind of like Castle before he had the wherewithal to make Castle.
Right.
Like when he wasn't mature enough to make that song yet.
Right.
Like his first crack at it almost.
Yeah, I agree. I'm speeding through to Tonight, if that's okay with you, bro.
Dude, speed on through.
For me, I love the sample with the That shit, dude. I liked that.
Yeah, are you talking about the little voice samples in the background of the beat?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit is hard.
And I also put, although it's kind of corny, it's interesting to see this side of Eminem.
What fascinates me is literally this is just him sitting down and trying to make Juicy,
Right.
to the best of his capabilities, and it is so fucking weird hearing him try to do that.
But I remember I really liked the hook because I think like we were talking about before we started recording. I was like, I remember the title track, and then I remember the something about you, baby, and that's it. But
Right.
yeah, I like the wholesome side of Eminem. Like I mean I can't. This is probably the last time we heard just straight up,
Just completely wholesome.
He had some like hope in him a little bit.
It was destroyed after this. Poor guy.
And the last thing I put was the song just felt like a huge throwback. It just, I know it was made a long time ago, but it does a good job now of taking you back to that time.
Right, I hear that, bro. Personally, I wasn't really a fan of the hook, honestly.
Oh man, how come?
I mean, it just sounded like I said, it sounded like him trying to make Juicy. Like it sounded like they fucking deconstructed a popular hook and then reconstructed a new one. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I feel that. And it does kind of come off corny with like, we got this, guys, it's gonna be okay.
Right, it sounds like he's this is going to be the lead single he's going to do at the charity events and shit.
Right.
But for what it is, dude, I'm not offended by it. I think it sticks the landing of what it's going for.
Right.
It just I don't know. I'm not 100% a fan of what it's going for as far as just the fucking super cheesy hooks. Like obviously there's songs that I love like that, but I don't know, they're few and far between.
Right. I feel like probably some of that comes with just us knowing what he would turn into after this.
Yeah, that's true. It is severe whiplash considering what I'm used to.
Right. For 313, I literally only had the note that the beat kind of sounded Sega Genesis-y. But other than that, I did not love this song.
IQ on this song had a line about I'll just call them the LGBTQ community.
Right.
That's not what he called them. But I heard that and I was taken aback. For a second I forgot that I was listening to an Eminem album and a feature spit the most fucking Eminem line on the whole album.
Right.
I was like, whoa, oh my god, calm down.
I will say, dude, IQ, some of his appearances, I feel like on 313 he wasn't bad, but some of the other ones I was like, damn, bro. You don't got to be on every song. My man.
Right? It's 3 songs, isn't it?
Yeah,
3 or 4.
Yeah,
that's too many, man. Another thought that I had about this shit: the hook sounds like fucking. It already sounds dusty and very of its time.
Right.
I feel like a Detroit rapper could take that hook and slow it down and just make it crazy sounding, and it would be a fucking awesome sample right now.
Right.
So
that'd be dope.
Any Detroit rappers out there want to steal some ideas. I feel like 313 is probably the closest on this whole album to actual Eminem as we know him,
right?
In the public eye. Dirty ass beats. He's just literally approaching the mic with the best shit that he can think of.
It reminded me of I don't know, whatever spot in his life he was when he was making this, when he was rap battling and shit like that. This is what it kind of reminded me of.
Are we moving on?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I just seen what was next.
Yeah, Maxine, man.
Trash, honestly. I'm gonna be 100% honest, this song fucking sucks ass.
I put, one of my notes was, I definitely do not love this song, but the beat is fire. I like the Maxine, that shit. And I like the boom, 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 boom. I like the samples, I like all that, but yeah, it reminded me of Drips, kind of. It was just the girl's got AIDS. And then honestly, I felt bad for the girl at the end when she's just I don't even have AIDS, blah, blah, blah. And then fucking Mr. Porter just fuck you, bitch. or whatever.
Is that who that was on verse 3? Because
no.
it just said it said verse 3. So was it a rapper named 3?
Yeah, that was a rapper named 3, and I mean, his verse was cheeks.
I was about to say awful, legitimately awful. Fucking, this is what I was talking about before we started the podcast. The dude who sounded like Sonny Chiba from Camp Lo.
Oh, yeah.
He sounds like Sonny Chiba, but not good at all. Like, Sonny Chiba already raps kind of offbeat and just, like, weird and pronounces shit weird, and, like, it sounds like if Sonny Chiba took drugs.
Honestly, if I'm remembering correctly, like, the flow was just kind of, like, completely off.
It sounded like he was just talking. Like, it was just stream of consciousness.
Yeah, it was something else.
Also, I just hate songs like this, where it's just, like, incel rap.
Yeah.
Like, let's just make up a fake woman to call a piece of shit. Like, what's the point of the song? What are we here for?
Right. And, dude, you know, we've had this debate over different type of shits, but she could be a real woman, and that would make it worse, in my opinion.
It would make it significantly worse, honestly. I really hope that Maxine is fake.
Right. But my only other note was hearing Mr. Porter that young was wholesome.
Yeah, dude, that was a cool moment.
On to open mic.
I don't know. I feel like this is closer to what people were actually expecting from him, as far as like people who actually knew him at the time. That's why I'm confused as to why this wasn't more of like the shit that he was trying to lean into instead of shit like It's Okay and Tonight.
Right.
Because fucking, I mean, this is like his demographic, like at this point. Like he was trying to reach out to an audience that wasn't grasping onto him yet.
Yeah, this definitely sounds like more of what he wanted to make, and things like Tonight and Maxine probably were more of like, you know, I think people will like this, or I think this will get some sort of reaction or whatever.
Right.
The only note I had was when he said, battle with success, I never gave a fuck, now I just give a fuck less. I didn't notice, but I think that line in I'm Back from Marshall Mathers LP references this with, used to give a fuck, now I could give a fuck less. What do I think of success? It sucks.
Oh, okay, bro. Dude, that's a fun little conspiracy theory to throw out.
It'd be cool, dude. It'd be cool if that was a legitimate throwback, but who knows, really.
Right.
I know the hook is semi-iconic with the "Who the fuck passed you the mic," but I don't know. This one did not jive with me that much. I didn't love it.
Right, I hear that. It jived with me a little bit more than like Tonight and shit.
Right.
But at the same time, it kind of overstayed its welcome.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, dude, honestly, I feel like this should have been like one of the opening 2 or 3 tracks. It's kind of weird it's in like the middle of the album.
Right. Moving on, bro, to Never Too Far.
He tried to make the world is yours.
I put that, I really like this song. It's really cheesy, but hearing Eminem like super broke before like Dr. Dre, before anything, it's always an interesting topic for me. And to hear him, like, actually in the beginning be like, man, I'm trying to get on the bus. I don't got no fucking money. Da-da-da. Like, I don't know. It's weird to just imagine him recording this with 3 people and no one gives a fuck about who he is yet.
Right, I feel that. You know, I mean, I don't really have much to say about this one. Like you said, it's very cheesy.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's mostly endearing.
Yeah.
I will say this though, I don't think I'm ever gonna put it on.
Yeah.
But you know, as it is, I'm not offended by it. But it definitely feels like I get the sense that he's just like ticking a box, like on this song and like a handful of other songs, which I've already kind of brought up 10 times. But
I think I'm liking the more cheesy shit more than you, and I think it's probably just because, for me, it's so weird to hear that side of him, but it's like good to know that it was in him at least at one point.
Right.
And especially on Never Too Far, I thought he sounded like hopeful and just like, hell yeah, dude, I'm gonna do it.
Just to think that the suicide attempt was shortly after this album.
Right.
And on that song, he's like, hey, I'm gonna be the president. God, poor guy.
Yeah.
Now we'd rather see the president dead.
dead presidents.
Right. He sets precedents.
Moving on, dude. We're getting into the last few. On to Searchin'. What do you think?
According to Genius, this is like the only track that actually got any sort of like airplay in Detroit.
Oh, wow.
And like any sort of like anything, basically. And it was like very, very limited.
That surprises me because, I mean, I didn't love this song.
Yeah, but it's got like the like pretty lady singing the hook and then like the chill beat and then just the kind of fucking laid back like fucking rhyme schemes and shit. Like, it makes sense with like what would have gotten big at the time. Like,
right.
I could see why that one caught traction more than some of the others. This is the only thing that gained traction. Imagine if it gained way more traction. And then he was just making Searchin' for the rest of his career.
Right? Dude, for me, it was so jarring to hear him be wholesome and like lovey about a relationship.
Right, and not talk about punching her in the eye at any point.
Right, or killing her, or fucking how he hates her, or how the relationship is so volatile and they just keep doing each other wrong. It almost feels wrong listening to this compared to like...
Right, it feels unnatural.
Right, it's so weird hearing him be like, I just want to cuddle, babe, and da-da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
But, dude, he was on his young man, I'm in love shit, so, I mean, we can all relate.
And then fucking IQ just comes in on the second verse talking about fucking edible underwear. That shit fucking, ugh. That was gross, dude.
Yeah, I mean...
Edible underwear, what are you doing?
Well, once again, dude, IQ, I mean, I don't think the song would have been a banger without him, but at the same time, you know, he didn't make it much more of a banger with him.
Right, he just kind of fills his slot and gets out of there.
Yeah, and I listening to this album, I wondered where he's kept in contact with Proof, well, did, you know, sadly, and Mr. Porter, and IQ seems to be the third most, you know, closest person he had on this album, but I mean, I don't even know who he is or what he does.
Yeah, I have no idea where he fits into the Eminem lore.
I think it was on one of the Music to Be Murdered Bys he mentioned IQ, but yeah, I don't know what the lore is, what he's doing, what he did. I mean,
they still just hang out and get burgers every weekend.
Now this next one, dude, Backstabber. My note was, this song is hokey. And I think that's a perfect way to describe this song, dude.
Dude, my main note is, this is like if Humpty Hump made Relapse.
It's so fucking like... And then he stabbed me in the leg, and then I jumped up, and then I hit him with my tummy tuck, and I don't know what. It's just
it's like As the World Turns if it was written by like a person who just had no imagination.
And also for like the Disney Channel or something, I don't know, like...
Right? It's like the cleanest version of a murder.
Right? And I did not like the hook coming in like every 8 bars or whatever.
Oh my god. The hook played so many fucking times in this song. It was insane.
I mean, this is probably the most white I think Eminem has ever sounded.
It's the most white, and also this might be the most useless track on the entire album, man. I know it's like important to the lore of Slim, dude, because it goes back to fucking Soul Intent and all that shit.
Right.
But man,
yeah,
I think that's why it didn't turn out.
Yeah, I agree, and you know, I don't want to shit on it because I think Proof was in the sample, dude. I feel bad, but Eminem did not do that song any favors.
Yeah.
And it kind of baffles me that this is the second to last song on the album.
That's literally, I have it written fucking a deflating second to last track, to be honest. Like, the little bit of momentum that this album has built, which is not much, because it's kind of a hodgepodge of random moods and fucking shit.
Right.
But, like, the little bit of momentum that it built all just fucking crashed and burned at this, this track.
Yeah, I mean... If I had to use a word, dude, and I don't like using the word, but I'd say a little bit corny, a little cringe, a little like... This, right. And I tried to take into account the time period and all that shit, and
right,
you know, how people were rapping back then, but man, this song don't hold up, man.
It is fucking insane to listen to this song specifically. I mean, the whole album, honestly, but this song specifically, and then be like, yeah, that guy made fucking Lose Yourself and
right.
fucking Without Me and all of these other songs that were fucking like a billion times platinum.
Right. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And then moving on to the last song, Jealousy Woes 2, which I read on Genius that there isn't actually a Jealousy Woes 1. It's apparently called Jealousy Woes 2 because it's like a LL Cool J like sequel to his song called Jealousy, but he didn't want to just call it Jealousy. This is to say if Genius is to be believed, but right. So then he put Jealousy Woes, but then still called it 2, but apparently the Backstabber song samples the original Jealousy song by, I think it was LL, and so this is a sequel to that, I guess. I don't know.
He was doing some mental gymnastics.
Kind of with the last song. This is not the song I would put for the final song.
Yeah, this is not a closing track, but I will say this, dude. I kind of really love this beat.
Dude, the bass line reminded me of Toe Jam and Earl. Like, straight up. Like that.
Hell yeah.
Like that.
Dude, and then those like fucking trash can snares where they're just like cutting through the fucking mix.
Right.
That shit sounded hard.
Yeah, that was dope. But other than that, I mean, not a very remarkable song to me.
Right. This starts as the first aggressive Eminem woman song in a long line of many.
Dude, and a line to be continued, probably.
Most probable, man.
Well, dude, since we did the track by track, any overall thoughts, feelings, emotions? I know we kind of sped through that, but
yeah, we did.
Honestly, I felt like for me it kind of all, I don't want to say ran together, but all was so similar that I didn't have a lot of different things to remark for each song, really.
It's very obvious that this album was made by somebody who hadn't unlocked their full potential yet.
Right.
Like, they were still figuring shit out. Like, this feels like growing pains, this whole album.
Right.
Fucking, I mean, you know, you might check out a little bit, dude, because you're not super into Hove like I am. But it reminds me of what kind of happened with him in, like, the very, very, very beginning of his career. Mm-hmm. Like, when he was actually, like, getting spots on other people's songs and, like, getting somewhere, he had, like, this fucking chopper flow. Like, he sounded like Twista. And he was just like fucking, he was just rap godding the whole shit. And then eventually he slowed it down and kind of found his voice.
Right.
And I think the like heavy fucking like focus on the rhyme schemes in this album is kind of like the same thing with Jay-Z abandoning the chopping.
Right.
And like once you get rid of this big distraction that you think that you need, like right. You can start focusing in on what actually matters, like the songwriting and being a charismatic person and making a catchy hook and all of that extra shit.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They both kind of shed the baby fat, man.
I haven't heard those Chopper Flow J's songs, but you'll have to send a couple to me because I'm interested, honestly.
There's not a whole lot of them out there, but it's fucking fascinating to hear.
But for me, dude, overall, I thought the album was a really cool throwback to just the time period and the sound, and just throwback to him as a person before all this shit. There's some songs I really can't stand, dude, like Backstabber. But there's others I really enjoy and think are kind of underrated because they don't, like, only the title track gets mentioned from this album, but I think there's a couple gems, dude, that people would enjoy if they listen to the whole thing.
No lie. I hear that for sure, man. Another thing I wanted to bring up at some point is that fucking he used samples in this album.
Yeah.
Like on Jealousy Woes 2, he sampled a Nas track.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking according to Genius, he also sampled another fucking Craig Mack song in another one that I forget which one it is.
Mm.
But fucking, I mean, I don't know shit about clearing samples even now, really. I just know it's difficult and expensive.
Right.
And I can only imagine it was even harder and more expensive back then when you couldn't just fucking message someone on fucking Gmail
Right.
and call it a day. Like, I can't imagine how much money he probably dumped into this album and then was just completely fucked after.
Right. I could imagine that scenario, but I also, like, back then with all, like, a lot of rap being heavily sampled, I could imagine him just being like, fuck it. And
He probably didn't think twice about it. He was probably just like, well, this is the name of the game. This is how it goes.
Right.
People use samples. It's an important part.
I did think it was cool to see that Mr. Porter produced, I think, the whole album, and Proof did the drum machine shit for
I hear
the tracks. So
that's dope.
It's cool that they kind of had a big collaboration before, like all the D12 shit and all that.
This was put out on web with the Bass Brothers, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I wonder, I'm sure that somebody actually knows this somewhere, but I wonder how much involvement they actually had on on this particular album.
Right.
Because I know they had way more involvement on the following shit.
Yeah. I'm probably wrong, but I feel like I've read that, like, they heard him freestyling on the radio, and then they just let him come over and record and put the album out for him, and then they started making beats for him after. But I'm not sure.
Right.
But other than that, dude, I just had that it was weird and, like, kind of felt wrong to hear him so chill and so happy. But
it was like a Twilight Zone alternate universe, this whole album.
Right, but I like the vibe of him being chill and not having to be angry or whatever. And not to say that I don't like angry Eminem, dude, because that's probably my favorite. But
right,
hearing him chill and also happy at certain points is just like a fucking an alternate universe, and it's fucking cool to hear that side of him.
Right.
I wish he'd kind of revisit these kind of type of beats.
Yes, I want more fucking old school Slim stuff, especially now that he actually, like, raps his ass off and fucking, has punchlines that aren't just about rapping.
Right.
Like, fucking, I want to hear him do some shit like this.
And as Lyrical Miracle as it was, I really liked the flow, dude. I kind of hope that if he were to get on an old beat like that again, he'd kind of, I don't know, go back into that more slow, I don't want to say slow, but just more clean type of flow where he doesn't have a million internal rhyme schemes. He's just rhyming a bunch of random words the whole time or whatever.
Right.
And for my favorite tracks, dude, I put Infinite, It's Okay, and Never Too Far are probably the ones I liked the most from the whole album.
Infinite, the title track. 313. And
Backstabber.
Maybe Jealousy Woes too, just because I really like the beat, and I'm a sucker for those fucking snares, man.
Right. That makes sense, dude.
As a bit of a wrap-up thought on this whole album, it mainly just amazes me that fucking the guy we have now was in this guy the whole time. Like, this guy seems like he has his shit together. He's not fucking fantasizing about murdering his baby's mother. He's not fucking, throwing out gay slurs or...
Yeah, and also it's just as rappers, dude, I feel like you probably feel the same, where it's just kind of an inspiring thing to hear him, I don't know, just fucking so young, so, like, don't have shit, and just trying to fucking step up to the bat, dude, and just give it all he's got. Even if looking back now, it's like kind of mid by his own standards. It's good to hear, like, this is where he was and what he actually went on to accomplish.
Right. No lie, bro. No freaking lie.
Well, dude, I didn't write a wrap-up speech, but I had a fun time listening to the album. I'm glad I did, because, I didn't remember most of these songs.
I think I might have heard this album in full one time, and it was forever ago, so I didn't remember none of this shit.
Shit, right. And dude, as an Eminem fan, it's good to go back, bro. Understand it all, and I'm glad we did it. And I think it just makes me more excited to get to the albums that I really, really like, that we can both just kind of fucking explain what's so great about them.
Right. This is an appetizer for sure.
Well, I mean, with that said, anyone who's actually listened this far, I appreciate it, dude. I'm Drew, and you can find me. I'll tell them where to find me. You can find me on Twitter at INHANSED, Enhanced Music, or Instagram, enhanced.fm. Nick, dude, where can they find you?
I think I'm on everything at X Don't Take L.
That's right, dude. And we don't. And we will be back soon, hopefully with some actual videos, so we're not spamming with fucking Eminem fan edits, and to continue the podcast. So thanks for anyone that listened.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Peace out.
Fuck yeah, dude. Peace.
My pen and paper cause a chain reaction to get your brain relaxing. A zaniac that maniac